On the screen you see 6 functions. These functions are called parent functions. They're the base functions that we're going to use in Unit 7 to create transformations. The first function, right here, y equals x, is the linear function. Let's take a look. If I click relation 1, this is a graph of y equals x. Notice it just makes a straight line. This one happens to be increasing. And also, it's important to note that it goes through the origin 0, 0. That'll be a common feature on almost all of these parent functions. Next function, y equals x squared. We can now graph this function. There it is in green. This is a parabola, also called a quadratic. Notice again that it goes through the origin 0, 0. Also notice that x squared, y equals x squared, this function is always positive. Any x value we plug in will give us a positive output. Next parent function is y equals the absolute value of x in relation 3. I'm going to have relation 3 up with relation 2. Notice again, it's always positive. The blue line is y equals the absolute value. Again, it also goes to the origin 0, 0. If we put it, I'm going to take off relation 2, put back up the linear function. Notice that it has the same slope. The absolute value has the same slope as the linear function y equals x. Fourth function or relation is the square root function. Y equals the square root of x. Notice again, it goes through the origin. And if we put it up with relation 2, we can see that there is, don't want to change color scheme. Notice that there is some relationship between the square root and the squared function. They're actually inverses of each other, something we'll talk about in a later unit. Fifth function is in light blue here. This is the exponential function. Notice that we're using 2 as the base of this exponential function. You can use any number you want. It'll change the graph slightly, but for this purposes, we're just going to use 2 to the power of x. Notice this is the first graph that does not go through the origin. Instead, it goes through the point 0, 1. This is the only parent function we have so far that doesn't go through the origin. This will be the important base point that you'll use when transforming the graph. And our last function in black is the cubic function, y equals x cubed. Notice that it can be both positive and negative depending on if you enter in negative numbers for the input or positive numbers. And again, it goes through the origin y 0, 0. Those are the 6 parent functions that we'll be using in Unit 7.